Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at some things I bought from a company called Teemu, I think that's how you say it, and a present from my friend Janet. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, first let me show you what I got from Janet. I'll get this stuff out of the way because, you know, I make a big mess whatever I'm doing. This was so sweet of her. She sent me, we were talking about how I want to do more things for other people, like the cards for Cubs that I do in March. And she said she does things for people who have cancer and drops them off at her cancer center. And she showed me some of the things that she does. Mostly they are bookmarks, and here are the different, I'm sure you know that different types of cancers have different color, like pink is for breast cancer, and I thought black was the color for lymphoma. That's what my parents had, but I might be wrong about that. Anyway, she did a bunch of bookmarks for me, and she sent me the die and the stamps. So there's the dies, and there are the stamps that are about cancer. And so I'm going to make some for my local cancer center, and she also showed me how she made these, and I've done something very similar to this, and I think she donates these to her library. Janet, let me know if I said that wrong, but they're lovely, and we'll be making some of those. She also made this card where it's one piece of the metallic and the whole piece is embossed, and then I think she colored this before. I have all the information. She gave me all the info on how she did all this. But same, this one she did with one embossing pad folder for the background, and then a separate one for the foreground. And then she colored them. So lots of really beautiful things. And then she even sent me the fur that she uses on the tops of her bookmarks. So we'll be making some of these in future videos. Janet, thank you so much. I love this. I'll make good use of it. I really appreciate all your thoughtful gifts. So let's talk about Teemu. I've never bought anything from them, so I thought, well, let's just give them a whirl. And so I bought this thanks. I bought this thanks die. And it has the wraparound, but I didn't use the wraparound in mine. What I did was I cut mine, first I cut it out of a piece of foam that had adhesive on the back of the foam. It's fun foam with adhesive on the back. Then I cut out the thanks with just paper, and then I glued the paper onto the foam and put it on my card like that. So that's what this thanks looks like. So that's the first one. Then I made one, I made it with this die. Oh, I want to tell you about these dies. They were all under $1 each. And you know I love it when something's under $1. I'm willing to try it. And the other thing, I'm not affiliated with Teemu. You know, I'm just giving you my scoop on this. When I ordered it, I got the things within, I would say, 2 weeks of when I ordered them. The shipping was completely free, and I signed up for an app on our phone, and then by doing that, it gave me 50% off my order. So I really felt like I got a great deal on these things because it was less than $1 before the 50% off. So it was really a good deal for these dies. Then I got this one that I haven't cut out yet. And it says happy birthday as well. I don't know why I bought all these happy birthday dies, because I make happy birthday cards, but I forget to send them. So this one's kind of cool though. I'll put it in this direction so you can kind of see it. It reminds me of like the 1950s, like a car hop sign would look like. I'll do that one a different time. And then there is this humongous happy birthday, and I have done it, and in fact, I cut it out of foam. I haven't used it on a card yet, but there it is out of foam. It's a very big die. Hopefully you can see how big it is. Big when it cuts. So that's that one. Again, they were all under $1. Then they had these pins, and I don't sew, but every once in a while I do fix, like I use a needle to sew a button on. And these ones, I don't know if you can see this. There's a little notch in these that you can just stick the string through. Let's give it a whirl, shall we? So you get 12. I do have a funny sewing story for you, if I haven't ever told you guys this story before. When I was in 7th grade, I took home ec, which most of us did back in the day. And we had to sew a project. I chose to sew something very simple because I was frankly afraid of the needle running over my fingers. I didn't have arthritis then. I just was afraid of the needle because I'm an idiot. Anyway, I was really afraid of the needle and I didn't want to do it. So the time came to turn in the project, and okay, if I didn't tell you what it was a tablecloth and napkins. I mean, could it get any easier than that? I didn't finish it. So the teacher gave me an incomplete, and maybe 30 years later, she came into the bank where I worked. She came in and she told one of the girls at the desk she was so glad I found something I could do. Wasn't that nice of her? Because I couldn't sew. Apparently it was memorable to her that I couldn't sew because she brought that up. Okay. Wow, that was easy. I don't know if you even saw me do that. If I was going to do this again, here's how I would do it. I would loop the string around my fingers like that, so that you have an opening, and then just, okay, it worked one time. Maybe I didn't even have it in the right spot. Okay. Yeah, see? Wasn't that easy? That's hard to believe. So now we know that if Sandy needs to put a button on anything in the future, she's got a plan. She can do it. Well, for today, I've got a plan. In the future, I'll probably lose these and forget what I did with them or forget I bought them, and you know how that goes. And in my craft room, as we know, my craft room is a horrible mess, and I'll probably never see these again. Anyway, back to what I got from Teemu. I got this, it's not a pen, it's a knife. They say it's a knife. It's got an angled blade on it, and I couldn't get it to cut anything. But what I could get it to do, and it did really well, and I left this in so you could see it, is it works really good at getting anything out of dies. And I didn't cut, it doesn't cut into the die, which I thought it would. Let me see if I can get it to cut anything if I take it at the right angle. Well, I guess it probably does cut. There you go. Anyway, I'll probably forget that it's a knife and try to write with it, but I am going to write knife on the side, so I try not to forget. But I liked it just for the die cutting thing. I don't want to cut my mat. Let me see if I can just cut through this real quick. I'm going to cut with it with the angle facing straight down. That's the only thing that bugged me about it. It didn't come with instructions. Well, it cuts, but I wouldn't use it. Like, I thought it would work really well to clean up areas of fussy cutting, and it might, but what it did really work well for is getting the things out of dies. So that was also very inexpensive. I'll make sure I give you the links and the prices. I'm not affiliated. Don't want you to think that I'm trying to trick you into buying something. Just like to tell you what I buy and if it works or not. I mean, the dies worked really well. I didn't have any trouble with them cutting, which sometimes when you buy a very inexpensive die, it might. These, I don't know, I've been on this sticker bender that I can't stop myself from buying more stickers. But these are all different stickers. This one is supposed to be florals, but I found that it was just a cornucopia of things. Like this thing says closer to happiness than I've ever been. I'm not sure, like, I don't know. We are all born so beautiful. The greatest tragedy is being convinced we are not. Oh, that's sweet. I could use that on those cards for cards for Cubs. Anyway, there's one set. And again, these were really inexpensive. I kind of like some of these that look like, let me see if they don't have that split in the backing that I like with a sticker. I don't like it when I have to do this and try and figure out how to get them apart. It wasn't hard to separate, but I am going to play around with them and see if I can do something on a card with them. I really liked this one. If I could have gotten a whole pack of ones that were just different stamps with floral designs on it, I'd be really thrilled, but that's not what I got. It did say it was a set of florals. It was not. Then I got a set, I think these are all Halloween, and I thought these would be fun to put on. I make little bags for the 10 trick-or-treaters I get for Halloween, and I thought these were really cute. And of course I'll be making Finn a Halloween project of some kind. For those of you who don't know, Finn is my great nephew, and he just turned a year old. So I like to spoil him. He lives a long way away, so I don't get to see him, but I do get to spoil him with things in the mail. Look at this one, Buffalo Bill skin lotion. Just rub it on. It's a sin whenever it is, what? The last word looks like told, but maybe it's sold. I swear it says told. Just rub it on. It's a sin whenever it is told. I swear. I'm going to hold that up high and hopefully you can see what that says. Looks like the word is told to me. Anyway. Ink cap winkles. I don't know what that means. Here's a poison for hemlock and scale of the dragon. Bone dust. Oh, here, concentrated awesomeness. Oh, my girlfriend from college would love that. The whole month of August is devoted to her birthday. She's very, very fun. You would love her. Mermaid tears. Anyway, I really did like the Halloween one. I don't send many Halloween cards, but I love the idea of having these kind of stickers for Halloween. As I said, to put on the 10 trick-or-treater things I get, which, you know, not many. Then we have this one, and this one is another, I think, that was supposed to be florals. I don't... Oh, look, it's got Vogue in it. I swear he's an angel. I'll put that on Finn's vintage. These are fun. I never forget. I don't forget. I can't forget. Then the next thing should have been, I already forgot. I should have written that, huh? Dream on, little dreamer. Here's another postage. Oh, here's another postage one. I love those postage ones. Okay, so there's a lot of those. And we'll come up with something to do with those. For some reason, it seems like something I could do with, like making a jelly plate background and then stick something like this on it and maybe do something multimedia. Hey, I'm not a multimedia girl, but if you want me to give something like that a whirl, you know I'm up for it. I'll try anything once. Now let's get to the things that I bought that I talked about before. Well, I only talked about one of them. Well, I cannot get those back in that bag, so we'll just put that aside for now. Okay. I did talk about this in a video when I was talking about diamond paintings. I'm sure you know, if you diamond paint, you know that in every diamond painting kit, you get one of these little green containers. And you get the pink wax. I think these are to put the pink wax and maybe any excess diamonds in. And then you put all of these in here. And as I was explaining in the video where I talked about Finn's picture that I'm doing of his face, here's how I organize a diamond painting. I do these in numerical order, which is what you should do. This is number 1. Each one of these baggies is numbered. Then the last thing I bought, and kind of the most interesting thing, I really like this, and I know at the full price, I think it was around $10. So then remember, with that 50% off by getting the app, it took it down to maybe $5 or $6. It's this. Wait, let me measure it so we know how big it is. This is a silicone mat. It's a craft mat. And I'm going to measure it because I want to make sure I give you the exact measurement. Oh, jeepers. Hey, how about if I just go by the measurement that's on the bottom? It's 19 inches that they, and there's probably, that was smart, wasn't it? It's 20 inches across, and it's 16 inches tall. Here's the cool part about it, and here's why I bought it. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. It has this. It's magnetized, and it flattens if I don't want to use it. But if I do want to use it for watercolors, or just to have water to, mess with anything, or to have something that would hold some brushes, it's pretty sturdy. Let me see if I can get it to hold. Yeah, I think you could put your markers in there while you're doing a project. And then it has places, these are brush rests. I was trying to find a brush that wasn't humongous. I have brushes right here, but they're really big. All right, well, I'll just put a really big brush here. That's what those are for. And then it has these little wells for watercolors or for mixing watercolors. And it has the more on the side here. Again, it's silicone. So let me tell you about silicone. Don't ever, and I mean ever, use glitter with a silicone mat. You'll end up hating yourself until you clean it with soap and water, because silicone and glitter, it's like an adhesive. I mean, for some reason there's glitter on it, and I had no glitter. So don't use glitter on it, because you'll really be bummed that you did. But other than that, I think it's a really great mat for doing projects on. I'm going to try to make a different project. I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out a way that I can put underneath this, or underneath a different piece of silicone, I'm going to put something that's magnetized, and then I'm going to use those super strong magnets on top of it, because I don't do well with stencils because I always seem to move them. So I figured if I figured out a way to make this so that it doesn't move, and that I don't have to clean the surface, it's all relative. You want to make sure that you can do the project and do it easily. And for me, stencils have always been problematic because I make a big mess, and frankly, I think I use too much of my medium, and I end up having it squirt underneath. If you've never done a stencil, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but you have to use very, very, very little of whatever medium you're using, because otherwise it will then seep underneath it, and we don't want that to happen. And so I'm going to be using these great big magnets. I bought them a long time ago when we were all first using a MISTI, and I thought, oh, these are the greatest. They're humongous. That'll work so great. Well, I couldn't get them apart. They were too big, but I came up with this plan where I'm going to, and they're kind of cool because they come with these rubber pieces between them so that you don't, in fact, get them stuck together and can't get them off of each other. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I have a big, and I mean big, knob that I bought at garage sales. There was a set of them, and I'm going to glue them to this so that I have a way to pick it up. So like, let's say that this is where I've got it magnetized down, that I'll be able to easily pick it back off because I've got a handle. See what I'm saying? So if any of you want to play along, if you're at a garage sale and you see any kind of big pulls, I mean, this would even work. It just needs to be able to be glued to it and hold it. This one might not have a big enough base to really hold to something this significant, but we're going to give it a whirl. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that, because it should be fun. That's pretty much what I bought this time, but I did buy another round of stuff that should be here any day, and I'll be doing another video showing you how or what I got and how I'm using those things. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.